What's up, Inkie peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and I've got your September Inkie Printable collection. I've gone with a bit of a create theme. I've been feeling a bit creative lately. My mojo's come back, so I thought it'd be nice to make some arty themed bits and pieces that you can use in your paper crafting, in project life, scrapbooking, journaling, art journaling, whatever you may do. I really apologise for my mat. Every time I turn on the camera, I look at my mat and I go, ooh. I have to give it a really good scrub, but I'm in a lot of pain with my hands at the moment with my cubital tunnel, and I can't. I tried scrubbing it and I can't, so I need to get Aaron to do it on the weekend. But it will be clean soon, I promise. So for this month, I've gone with a bit of a pretty colour scheme, I guess you could say. Oranges, pinks, purples, a splash of yellow and red, lots of warm colours because we've just entered spring over here in Australia, and I'm feeling springy and warm, and there's a couple of extra pages for this month as well. So if you're new Patreon peep, I should just quickly add the printables always come out on the 15th of the month at 9 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. There is one art print, 2 pages of journaling cards, a collage sheet, and then a extra printable page of something. This month there's 3 more on top of that as well. There's usually something extra in there. So this is the art print for this month. It's a nice little watercolory inspirational piece, and I do save this as a just an image file, a JPEG file, so you can actually size it down in Microsoft Word or whatever you may use to print, and you can make it smaller if you'd like. I think it would be a really cute tip-in if you do journaling, and then you could write on the back of it. So keep that in mind when you are printing your bits and pieces, to manipulate your printing a little bit to see what you can get out of the printables. And then I was playing around in Photoshop and I made 2 other versions, and I didn't like them as much as this one, so that's why it's the main one. But I still wanted to include them, so there's also this page that comes with all 3 smaller printed like this, so it's saved like this. And if you want to, you can also print it tiny. So for this, I just, on my printer settings, I just chose 4 copies per page, and it just printed 4 of them. And I aim to use this in my traveller's notebooks. I thought they would be a really good size for that. They'd also be cute in a planner as well. So that is the art print, and the art print is always downloaded in a separate post. So make sure you grab that, because I do have a tier that's just the art print and not the other printables. So make sure you go to that post and also download that one too. And then we're on to the journaling cards for this month. I just finished filming a double page process video, 12 by 12 PL and layout, and I used up all of the journaling cards, so I'm going to have to print myself another copy. This is my master copy, but I will have to print myself off another copy. I print all of my ones on really cheap glossy photo paper from Kmart. I was using the Kodak, but I actually like the quality of this one a bit better, and because it's not as thick, it's easier to use in my scrapping. And then if I want to write on top of them, I usually just use a Sharpie, or you could use a slick writer, just something that could go with the glossy surface, or you can print it just on normal cardstock. Totally up to you. So I like to include some cards that have a lot of journaling space in case you have a lot to write about, and then also some filler cards as well. I wanted to try this month, so I thought it would be fun for a card to talk about new projects that you might be starting. Now these could be creative projects, but they also could be like things around the house. So you might be renovating, or maybe something at your work you've started that's new, or maybe a new project is to learn cooking some more recipes, some sort of new projects. I thought this would be a nice way to summarize it and give a few journaling prompts along with it. So that's page 1. And then here is page 2. Oh, they're so pretty. They're the colour scheme for this month reminded me a lot of like the Instagram influencer colour palette, which is like a lot of dusty pinks and white, and I've been watching quite a few mummy influencers, and I think they've gotten into my subconscious, and that's what came out this month. So for this one, I thought it would be nice to have a journaling card where you could record 3 different things, so maybe 3 things about the week, and you could number the photos 1, 2, 3, or it could be 3 things that you did in one day. It's completely up to you. Create your own sunshine, because some days you do need to create your own sunshine. If they're maybe if you're not having a good day, you could write about that, or if you are having a good day and you've done something that you're really proud of, you could also pop a photo there, or some journaling, and then a 4x6 down the bottom here. It's like a faux washi strip. And then it's the collage sheet. Ooh, I love this one. I love the banners. I brought the banners back and I tweaked them a little bit. I find them so handy for kind of fancy labeling, because I do like labels, and I'm working on a bit of a label project thing, which I'm still working on, and I was hoping to have done by now, but I'm still working on it. But sometimes it's nice to have something that's a little bit different than just a normal box. So a mixture of some fancy tiny word strips, as I like to call these, and then some tiny words down the bottom here. I like to, I think I've mentioned this before, I cut this out and I just put it in a Ziploc bag, and I just cut them as I go so that they don't get lost. So there is the collage sheet. Lots of creative things like less thinking, more creating, be creative, create your own sunshine. But then I tried to keep things that are workable across any themed page. Like today, this makes me happy, love this, currently captured. I always try to include some, not generic, but basic terms so that can work with a whole variety of themes. I also printed mine this month, 2 copies to a page. I thought it'd be fun to play with some teeny tiny bits and pieces. So quite often what I'll do is I'll sit down and if I feel energetic, I'll cut them all out and just leave them in a dish on my desk, or I will just keep all of the bits and pieces in a plastic sleeve and keep it nearby, and then when I'm finished and move on to the next month, I just put all the plastic sleeves together. And then I made some fancy banners, some extra fancy banners. So there is the process video that goes along with this, is actually kind of a triple process video, because I made a layout and a PL page using the goodies, but I also created the backgrounds that I used for this month. So make sure that you watch that one too to see how these came together. But I've been playing around with my Photoshop. Oh, are we going to focus on it? There we go. And I thought it would be fun to have some banners that were a little bit different than the usual. Let me know if you like this, and in several months time I can do some more that are in a different colour scheme with the if there's a particular colour scheme that you would like. I'd love to do some bluey ones, but I really like these. And I also used the other banner as well and did the same backgrounds but different parts of the background. And then, even though I love the fancy banners, I thought it would be good to include a couple of big ones as well. So I just included 2 of the blank ones, and then created this down the bottom here, and I kind of thought you could use it like faux washi strips, or you could just use it as is, as a pattern piece of paper. But I also thought you could cut these up and use them as little trims in your journals, or on Project Life cards, or just hide it underneath a photo and have it as a bit of matting. I thought these backgrounds were just too pretty to only have as the banners. I wanted to include a bit more of them as well. So that's September's collection, a creative, arty, painty, messy kind of theme. Next month for October, I'm doing a kids baby slash kind of theme, but there's a bit of a twist because I know that it can be tricky to have, especially I've got 2 friends who are also expecting little ones within 2 weeks or 3 weeks of me, which is really exciting, and they both don't know what they're having, and it's driving me crazy because everything out there is just grey and white. Everything, all the onesies, all the baby toys, everything's just grey and white. So I'm going to release next month's collection. It's going to be a big one, and it's not just baby, it's kind of kids, but there'll also be, of course, the generic love this and happy days and good times that you can just use for any page if you don't have children that you're scrapbooking. But I am going to release it in several different colour palettes. So there'll be a girly one, a stereotypical pinky girly purple one. There'll be a gender neutral, I say this with quotations because as you'll see in the process video for this month, I use pink all over Archie's layout. But it will, and then there will be a bright version as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that for October. And then November will be Christmas, the Christmas release, and then December I always do a celebratory type theme. So that's a little bit of a heads up. If there's anything specific you'd like to see in the kids release, in the Christmas release, or in the celebratory release for December, please do let me know. This is your chance, because in the next 2 weeks I'm getting all of these collections done, uploaded, ready to go. So you've got this week to tell me what you'd like to see, and I will include it for you. Alright guys, I am going to go treat myself to a cup of tea, I think, and a little sit down because baby girl is kicking me like crazy at the moment, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye!